Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am Manny J. Style here with my co-host Paz and we're back with Christiana Valenzuela. Think I got that right better this time. But anyway, so Chris, let me ask you a question. How did your failures pave your way to your success now?
I would say that it just makes you stronger.
Okay.
You know, there's so many obstacles and things that will try to stop you, people too, that will cause ripples and obstacles in your life. And I think the biggest thing to remember is just to never give up. You know, there's always going to be something there. And I think that people get caught up in thinking that it's supposed to be smooth sailing, and they think that, oh, this happened, so now I can't do it anymore, or, you know, I don't have the money to put this on, or to do this for my brand, or to do, you know, get this piece of equipment or whatever it is. And you just can't let that get in the way. I mean, I started as, you know, as a photographer that didn't really have a lot of equipment, but I was determined to do these shoots that made it look like I had all this equipment, so that way I could get the gigs that could help me buy the equipment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's a little bit at a time, one thing at a time. Don't feel so overwhelmed like you have to have everything accomplished all at one time or you're just this big failure. And I think that we get caught up as people in trying to show our progress and trying to prove to everybody that we're doing that. And it's like, you know, just do it for yourself, do it for a purpose, and just never give up, because all those failures are going to be lessons that you learn. Like that photo shoot where, you know, you forgot the one thing, or you missed out on the one client, or, you know, you dropped the ball on this, and it's like, man, how could I let that happen? What was I doing?
Right.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
All
should
the
just
time.
give up. Yeah, so no, but you just can't do that. You can't let it get you down for at least too long. I mean, you can pout about it for a little while, but pick yourself back up and keep going, because ultimately those are the things that are going to give you the tools you need when the opportunity arises, when you're like in a situation and you say, hey, I remember how I got through this. I could use that today.
So can you speak to one thing particular that you just kind of remember, or something that pops off to you right now, where you considered it maybe at that time a failure, or something that kind of slowed down your progress a little bit?
Let me pick one. It's like
It's always
pick a
something.
straw out of the hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so a time where or I didn't think it was gonna, I wasn't sure.
You wasn't sure.
Just
I
like
wasn't
a story
sure.
that
You
you're
wasn't,
like,
you
oh.
wasn't sure. But now looking back, the whole thing of it, now looking back, it actually made you a better business person, better photographer, better entrepreneur, better.
There was a time where I was newly in California, and I was homeless, and I was sleeping in my car, and I was working 2 jobs. I was working from 4 in the morning till 10:30, 10:30, and then I would have to drive from like Mid-City Wilshire area down to Orange County. And I had to be in Orange County to about 11:45, and work from 11:45 to 8:45. And then I would drive back to Hollywood, sleep in my car, and do it all over again. And I was working 6 days a week and busting my ass. And I remember my mom calling me from Arizona, like, just come home. What are you doing? Like, somebody's going to kill you in the middle of the night, sleeping in your car. Like, what are you doing? Just come home.
Yeah.
You're 21. Why are you sleeping in your car, working 6 days a week, 80 hours a week? And I was like, no.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
I am going to get through this. I'm working these 2 jobs so I can get an apartment. And, you know, about a month or 2 later, I had saved enough to get a little 1-bedroom apartment in the Valley. And then, you know, life progressed from there. But that was definitely a time where I could have easily turned around and went back to my mama's house and had a nice, comfy bed to sleep in. And something just said, like, that's not where you need to be. You need to be in LA, and you need to figure it out. You need to make it happen and suck it up and take a nap in between jobs and on your break and everything like that, and just make it work.
And I think that's the thing, like, this is why we're doing this type of show, because this is the stories that I want my viewers and my listeners to hear about this is because they need to know that the struggle is real.
It's
yeah.
so real.
It's so real.
The
Yeah.
struggle is
So
real.
real. It never stops.
It never stops. But the thing is, the key ingredient that you have to know that you have to have is you have to believe in yourself. You
Yes.
have to believe that you are going to get to where you vision yourself being.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
you know, I can speak to that as well, and I just know daily I can speak to that.
Yeah.
And you just have to
Yeah.
basically trust the process and just be patient with it.
Yep.
And, you know, just keep on working on it. You know, like
Yeah.
with nowadays that everything is so constant, you know, with this life process and where you want to be, you just have to be patient and just keep on going, you know?
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, Paz, you have anything?
Yeah, so how I met Christiana was because she offered her studio with our event for me and Manny's nonprofit called Haute Healing. So thank you so much for offering your space. And what I found out is you have a nonprofit as well called the Good League.
Yes.
So would you like to talk about that to our viewers?
Sure. Basically, the Good League is a charity that we started last year and is now just kind of getting its footing. Basically, what we do is focus on helping the homeless and also creating awareness about other people doing good things and encouraging young people to really get out there and start helping others. And one of the main reasons why we started the charity was because there's so many people out there doing things. You know, we're all creatively trying to influence or trying to get our followers or all of that to build our brand and live our best life in whatever the current hashtag is of the moment. And it's like we have to be more than that as this generation because the government's not helping us.
Right.
We
Yeah.
can't look for these outside areas to help us in the future. So my whole thing is trying to involve young people in the sense that we all have to help each other. We can't rely on everybody else. We have to help the homeless. We have to help the youth. We have to create the change ourselves because nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
If young people don't start becoming aware, then we're all screwed, basically, because the government's not doing it. And if the younger generation, us and, you know, Generation Z and whatever is coming after that, we got to start back at A again. Was it A squared? What's going to come after Z? So we have to make sure that they come up with the mentality that, you know, you see somebody in the street and they ask you for money. Maybe it's not you don't give them money, but maybe you offer to buy them something to eat. Or maybe you say, hey, I have this jacket in my car. It's cold today. Why don't you take this jacket? You know, and reaching out and volunteering in your community doesn't have to be like a thought of like, oh, I'm picking up trash or the Red Cross or I'm making sandwiches. Like there's so much more than that in giving and in doing for other people. So that's what we're basically all about.
Yeah, and it's great because I read this article in LA Times that it says that the homelessness in LA, it's just been increasing more and more. And
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, like
I mean,
what you
it's somewhere
said.
around like maybe 80,000 people in the LA area, which is just a rough
Right.
estimate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably one of the worst places in the country for sure.
So it's really up to us to do something about it, you know, instead of just complaining, be like, nah, the
Yeah.
government, why would I vote? You know, the government's not doing anything. You know,
Yeah.
like we might as well just take it ourselves, like you said.
And LA is honestly, it's the widest difference between the poor and the rich. There's you know so many of these ultra rich people, and then you go down in Skid Row, and then there's just blocks and blocks of homeless people. And that's not the only area where there's homeless. There's homeless people all over LA that aren't getting the resources or aren't finding the places where they need to go. And so, you know, we do a lot of outreach directly in the streets where we go out to people. We take them water, we take them, you know, just different things. We worked with you guys and took them clothing. So it's all about just
Thank you for that.
reaching out and getting the young people to be involved and really meeting people face to face and getting to know like some of these homeless people and knowing their stories and realizing that, you know, we're not that far away. Like, anybody could be homeless. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anybody can go through a couple bad things, and next thing you know, you're like, hey, can I stay on your couch? Next thing you know, there's no more couches, and next thing you know, you on the street. So there's a humanity and a humility and kind of becoming aware and really being open to being conscious of it and doing something about it, I feel like.
Yeah, it's 100%.
So let me ask you a question then. So what right now, before I get into some of the challenges, what right now would you want to see from the people, you know, our listeners, our viewers, you know, your followers on IG, because you have a lot of them. What would you want to see from people right now in assisting the Good League? And how would you want to see that happen?
Get out and do something good for your community. If you want to organize something and you're not sure how to do it, we'll definitely, you know, we can work with you. If you want to do something in, you know, depending on where you are. If you're in LA and downtown, you can come and join us on our water drop. We do them every single week. We take out, just today, this morning, we took out about 200 bottles of water to the homeless and, you know, handed out water individually. We spark conversations with them and talk to them, and basically the main thing is make them feel like, you know, we're here not to just throw some water out the window, but to have a conversation and make you feel human again, because people lose that.
It's about the connection.
It's about the connection and about, you know, the love that you share with another person just in that moment. And, you know, seeing them, really seeing them, not just, oh, that's something that we've disregarded in society.
Right.
Something that we've pushed aside. Like, we want to make sure it's all about inclusion. And yeah, so basically one thing you can do is follow us on social media, The Good League, just like it sounds. Send us a message, let you know when the water drops are. We're going to be doing events where we do, you know, clothing drives this year. We're going to be getting involved if you have a brand or if you know of companies where there's resources like, you know, toiletries, clothing, shoes, socks, anything that you think could be applicable for the homeless. If you feel like there's a resource there, we would be able to take that and put it in the right places in the community.
And to speak to that, even with our Hope Healing project, the whole entire thing is I don't want people to get the misconstruction that we're just going out giving people clothes. The whole point of what we're doing with Hope Healing, the whole point that we're doing with the Good League, like the Good League is a major affiliate of Hope Healing as well. The whole thing is about connection. And I want people to understand that it's not about just giving you clothing, but it's about providing you connection and resources to help you get out of the situation that you're in. And sometimes that moment of conversation, and you know, we're always networking. Well, I can hook you up with this. Well, what if you can offer that same hookup to someone and say, hey, listen, well, you know what? I know an organization that can help you get to this next level if you want to get help. And a lot of these people do. A lot of people don't, but a lot of them do. And the ones that do, I firmly believe that you will be connected with them and you'll be placed in the opportunity and situation to help them. So, with that being said, we're going to take another break. We're going to come back, hear a little bit more from Christiana about the Good League. Paz has some questions for her, and I have some questions, and we may have a possible gift for you. So stay tuned, and we'll be right with you. Peace.